Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is the latest episode of the United Community Podcast. And there's all smiles on our faces today because it's Monday and United bet Arsenal, we bet City, and it's just great. And Carrick's at the wheel. Tell me, how does it feel? And all that kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely fantastic weekend, guys. Fantastic 8 or 9 days since Michael Carrick has come in. So we're going to talk about him. We're going to get the boys' opinion on, you know, should he be given the job? What's going on? How happy we are? We're going to talk about individual players. Of course, you know by the thumbnail as well that we're going to talk about transfers as well. It's been a very quiet January, but a lot of Cole Palmer rumours surfacing in the last little while. So we'll talk about that as well. Smash a like in the video, subscribe if you're new, all of that good stuff. We've got Chris, we've got Oisín, and we've got Ben, as always. And Desi might be here at some stage, so we'll keep an eye out for him. How we doing, boys? All good?
Yeah, all good.
All good, good. Chris,
can't be nothing but smiles. Can't be nothing but smiles.
Yeah, look, and let's start with yesterday. And look, obviously we haven't done a podcast since before the City game, so there's been two really, really good performances. A lot of positivity since Carrick has come in. But look, start with yesterday. Another really, really impressive performance tactically. You know, hunger, desire. Man United of old. Give me your thoughts.
No, I mean, I've been very impressed with how the team has responded. You know, I mean, in both games, the effort has been there, the heart, the passion has been there. You know, the fight has been there. Like, it's, you know, in the last two games, I mean, against City, we didn't go a goal down, and you know, in this game, we went against Arsenal, we went a goal down, and I didn't feel like I used to feel where, oh crap, we're a goal down. What's going to happen? Like, no, I mean, we were controlling the game. I mean, we may not have possession, but I thought we had the better chances throughout and the better play throughout. I mean, Arsenal goes side to side a lot, and they don't, you know, there was no real threat. I mean, they got a smell, like you said in the watch along, it's a smelly goal. It wasn't, I don't think it wasn't earned. And, you know, it was an own goal, and they were trying to say, oh no, he touched it. No, he didn't touch it. It was an own goal. Leave it alone. And then they got another smelly goal on the corner to tie it, which, you know, I'm a little, maybe we can do a podcast about this, but this whole, PGMOL has to clean up what's happening on free kicks and corners and everything like that, because what they're doing is basically textbook basketball, pick and roll. You're trying to block people off, and that's not football. That's not what's supposed to happen. You can't stand in a player's way and impede them from getting to the ball. And that's what they're doing. And you know, kudos to them. They're getting away with it. And they're, you know, if like they always say, if the referee lets you do it, then you keep doing it. But someone has to step in. And I mean, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today, and he, you know, you see guys on corners, they put their arms around the defenders, put their arms around the attacker, and they're trying to, like, you can't do that. Like, you're impeding you can't stop them from going side to side or wherever they want. And I just don't understand it. Like, all of even on the free kick that in the first half that Lamens made the save, if you watch, they're all offsides. They run the onsides, and they pick people off just so that one player comes free to get the header. And that's not legal. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's like we said, they don't play an attractive brand of football. You know, they're not, you know, and I think Sunday it finally caught up with them, because then they faced a team that was going to go after them, and we did it. And Arteta went after the game, and he took out Odegaard and Zubamendi, and he let Declan Rice in there as a single pivot, and he got exposed. Cunha exposed them. We played a through ball. Their midfield got played through. Cunha finished it beautifully, and we win. You know,
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I mean, but other than that, I mean, I just think if we continue to play like this, if we put forth the same effort in the next 5 games, we could have 15 points easily because of who we were playing at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the kind of run. And I seen that stat yesterday as well. That it was the run under Amram. Remember that we were speaking about? I think it was November time where we had a very favorable set of fixtures that we could have picked up some really good points, and he dropped 12 points in that group. I think it was like Bournemouth and West Ham and all of them kind of teams in it. many points are we behind Arsenal at the top of the table? 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, and again, I've been saying it all season that realistically, if we could have gone on a run and had some kind of consistency throughout the season, I think we would be up there. I think we've got the team to do it. But Ben, I want to ask you about obviously Carrick coming in, and you know he's now beaten Pep and Arteta in back-to-back games. I mean, it seems like it's not a kind of a snatch and grab. It doesn't feel like a snatch and grab. You know, we were a better team yesterday, and even when Patrick Dorgu gets injured, you know, he could have easily put on a defender, but he doesn't. He puts on a striker. I mean, that mentality coming in from Carrick and just putting that onto the squad surely has a positive impact.
Yeah, of course it does. Like you say, Carrick's been there, done it with us, hasn't he? So he does now. Yeah. And I reckon yesterday's win's a lot better than the Man City win.
Yeah, I think it was more thought out nearly, I felt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sounds daft and crazy, but I reckon the Man City win was easy because we dominated the game.
Yeah.
Whereas yesterday we had to fight to get the win, and we've actually shown that we can fight and win. Yeah. Which is great to see. When was the last time we did that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ben, or not Ben, Oisín, give me your overall thoughts on it, because obviously it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks since Carrick has come in, but I mean to me it looks like he's just simplified everything. You know, when you see some of the passing that we've been doing, I'd say what he's just been doing is just right, go out onto the training pitch, lads, and do an hour and a half of rondos and head off home. You know, because the way we're moving the ball so freely, is it down to, I mean, what do you put it down to? Is it taking the shackles off that Amram had on? Is it the change of formation? Is it playing Manu? Is it maybe a combination of everything?
I think he's just told them to do their jobs. He's not asking them to play any particular system. He's not playing players out of positions. Bruno has had his best 2 games of the season, the last 2 games back-to-back. I thought he controlled the pace of the game against City. He was playing balls around the corner. He was doing the same again yesterday. Our best attacking stuff came through Bruno, I felt. And I just think he's just simplified stuff. He hasn't, he doesn't have Dorgu playing a wing back where he's up and down the pitch all day. He's got Dorgu attacking and getting at fullbacks, which he did yesterday. So I think he has just simplified the game for everyone out there. Doesn't have them thinking, okay, where am I supposed to be right now in this particular phase? I also think that the last 2 games were easy on him in a way, because he was on hiding to nothing, because none of us really expected we get 6 from 6. You know, so I think he was on a bit of a hiding to nothing. He could have lost both games and we still would have said, okay, he's just getting in there. We didn't expect much from the game. But I mean, Jesus, we'll take it all day long, won't we? 6 points from City and Arsenal, we'll take it all day long. Yeah. But I said it in the test group yesterday, and the boys will attend to this. I think Fulham is going to be a bigger test for him now, because, as I said, no one was expecting much from City or Arsenal. Now we have the 2 results we have. We've played the brand of football we've played. Now, can he keep that going against this, what you would consider a lesser team?
Yeah.
And so can he keep the same mentality, the same intensity, the same drive from the same group of players that other managers couldn't get a tune out of when they were playing these kind of players?
Yeah.
Playing these kind of teams. I do think Arsenal played into our hands last night. I think Arteta shat the bed when we went 2-1 up. He took off, as Chris said, he took off Zubimendi, took off Odegaard, who didn't do a thing yesterday. I don't think Odegaard or Zubimendi didn't do a thing. And that was the one part of the pitch I was worried about, that they could kind of get.
And I think the feeling I got now, let me know if you feel any different, but the feeling that I got in the first 15 or 20 minutes, that was we were losing the midfield battle, but we slowly grew into the game, I thought.
I think we were the second best team in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I really do. And then we had a flurry of about 3 or 4 minutes. We got a foot in the ball and we just started cooling things down. But up until that point, I mean, I don't think we touched the ball more than 5 times in one passage of play before the 25th minute, because we were just losing the ball. They were getting a bit of a foothold. But we didn't panic. I mean, how many times in the past will we have kind of sat back in our shell and had to come on to us? We didn't. We did try to play out. We did try to break away. If I have one criticism, and it's the only one I could think of, is I think Le Mans, and look, vilify me if you want for saying this, but I'll contend this. I think Le Mans should have stayed at home for that corner yesterday when the ball was coming, because he was never getting near that ball. As Chris said, there was too much traffic in front of him. I think he could have stayed at home, and that would have nullified their threat. But look, that's ifs and buts.
Could there be an argument to say that he came for one or two previous and got a fist on it, and he was getting a bit over confident, maybe?
Maybe, but I don't think, I was looking back at some of the highlights, I don't think they were packing in front of him as much in previous corners as they did in that particular one. Yeah. And we all know they're Stoke FC playing in red. We all know that. So they were changing up their set pieces. And I think they changed that one up yesterday, played shorter, went to the front post and overloaded it there. And Lemons came in and he just ran into traffic. I think he could have stayed at home, but that's the one criticism I can have for any of the 11 who played, any of the 26 we play, we'll say, with the subs and the whole lot over the last two games. That's the one critique I can have. If that's the thing I'm critiquing, I mean, it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, happy days. Chris, let's move it on to individual players then, because look, we'll start obviously with we'll do it chronologically with goal scores. We'll start with Brian Mbeumo. He's been a revelation since he's come back from the AFCON. Absolutely fantastic. I was speaking with Ricey today, and he said obviously he's not a United fan, but he said he really hated him. He said he just didn't like the look of him, with his big fat arse and a big bald head on him, and he just didn't like the look of him. No, when you get so he goes, but Jesus Christ, I have to say he's growing on me. He's some player. What an unbelievable return from 2 games coming back from the AFCON, and a heavy fixture list for him, over the last month or so playing for his country. But he looked a little bit, I think I mentioned it in the watch along yesterday. He looked a little bit leggier yesterday than he did in the Manchester derby, I thought. But who cares if he's still getting goals?
No, who cares? But I mean, that's where, I was talking with some people about it, and it's like everybody's like, well, Cunha's on the bench, and but I mean, when you have players playing that well, you don't change. And this is what we've talked about before. It's like you keep changing your team, you get a good result, and all of a sudden the next game you got 4 changes. Like, why did you change it? And I think what I like about what Carrick's doing is, Mbeumo's playing really well up top. So guess what you're going to play? You're going to play up top. And don't get me wrong, there's times that you may have to rest a little bit, because he is coming back, he was playing and everything like that. Maybe, but that I'm okay with, but he's playing really well. He's making the runs. He's pressing. He's being in the right spots. I mean, I can't say anything bad about him. I mean, he was there when Zubamendi. Our press is what made Zubamendi give the ball up. And everything like that. Yeah. The bad pass and everything like that. He's trying to one touch it back to Raya, and he's right there. His bad pass, and you take advantage of all that. And then, I mean, his runs, the way he goes after, the way he, is like, he could have literally, he cut the ball and he could have cut it again and watched everybody fly by, and he could have walked the ball into the net, but, he's very calm, collected, confident right now. I mean, his confidence, you see it when he's playing, when he strikes the ball and when he's doing so. I mean, even in the goal against City, he took that one touch. And placed it on the
way the pass from Bruno was just
Well, I mean, you saw it was right on your end, right, Jack? You're in the Stretford, and you saw. I mean, the pass. But that pass is perfect. But he chose to take that one touch, and that's a bold choice right there. To take that one touch and be able to slot it far post. And it's not like Donnaruma's a small keeper. Dude's 6'8", so he did what he needed to do. And, I can't say anything bad about him right now. Literally. And you know what? You watch him. The one thing I like about it, he's commanding on the field. He's always talking. He's always, he's like, there was a pass that went awry, and you see his hands up and he's clapping. He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. We'll get it. And it's not this. It's not what are you doing and all that kind of stuff. He's very positive, and he barks at people. And I like it. and I think that's what we need at that point.
Remember when we had like Rashford playing up front and he just wasn't running around? You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, like thank God. But Ben, give me your thoughts on Mbeumo, because like last season was so evident the biggest issue was not having goals in our team, and we heavily invested in the forward line. It's paying dividends now, absolutely, in spades.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we've all said, haven't we? We needed a new front line. Yeah, we've got a midfield that we want to replace, but if you're not scoring goals, what can you do?
Yeah,
and you're saying that even Cunha being on the bench, a player like that coming on to the pitch. When was the last time we had somebody like that on the bench to come on and change a game?
Yeah, 100%. Oisín, speaking of Cunha, his counterpart who's been keeping him out of the team the last 2 games, Paddy Dargu, Ballon Dargu, Dargy best, all absolutely relevant for this player. A fantastic couple of games.
Wow.
I've been listening to what people have been saying. But look, just I've said it from early doors that I thought the raw kind of skeleton nearly of a footballer was there, and he just needed to be fine-tuned a little bit. But look, he's still got a long way to go, but by God, I don't think he's ever going to score a better goal than he did yesterday. He's a player brimming with confidence now, and someone that is now a genuine option for that forward line.
Yeah, I mean, the goal was okay, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't
all right.
Yeah, again, I think it goes back to Amram. Amram didn't know how to utilize him, and Amram had a set system where he saw his 3, but Dargu has always had something about him. He might never have been, there might have been games where he hasn't played his best or whatever, but you could always see that there was something there. Whether it was the physicality, he was putting himself about, he was knocking into people. But it all seems to have come to, and I think it comes back again to Carrick just simplifying the game for him and just saying, you get on the ball, you run at these guys. That's all I want you to do. I don't want you to worry about coming back too much. Okay, you'd have to defend, but you get on the ball and you scare them. That's what I want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
The pace, the strength. And as you said, he's keeping a £60 million player that we signed last season out of the first team.
Yep.
That's and look, we're all Cunha fans here. You know what I mean? We're not saying that Cunha's a bad player or whatever, but to keep him out of the team with the start Cunha's had as well, he's doing something right there. And obviously Carrick is seeing something on the training ground that because we were all surprised last week. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
we were all surprised last week when Cunha didn't start the derby. We were surprised when that happened. But obviously he's after seeing something, or just kind of fine-tune something, or maybe he knows. Maybe Carrick's idea of the game is that you start and you need strength to come off the bench, and maybe that's how he sees Cunha at the minute.
Yeah.
He's more of a finisher than he is a starter, and you need those kind of players too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, talk to me then, Oisín, about that player that came off the bench, Cunha, because I mentioned it today in my Talking Points video. I think if there was ever a player at the moment that was born to play for Manchester United, he just looks like it to me. Flair, excitement, bit of grit about him as well. I was so impressed with him. The fact that 2 games, didn't start either of them, came off the bench against City, got an assist, came off the bench against Arsenal and scored, and didn't give out, didn't sulk, didn't throw his ties out of the pram, just came on and made an impact. And that's what you want out of your players.
I was worried when we were signing Cunha, because her past experience of signing Brazilian players hasn't been the best. But I think easily, and look, it's a low bar really, he's head and shoulders of any Brazilian we've ever signed to that club. Anderson, Cleberson, some guy we sold to Spain during last summer, the 2 twins we had. It's a low bar, but he looks like he's a home in that United shirt. The weight of the shirt doesn't bother him. And like you said, he's the kind of, could you imagine if it was one of the other players I mentioned who was taken off or wasn't starting and was coming on? It just wouldn't be the same. He came on and he got stuck in. I mean, as well as scoring the goal, he was winning free kicks. He was our out ball. He was taking pressure off. He was leading the press. That's all you can ask for. Yeah. You can't ask for any more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy, so happy. Chris, I'm gonna bring all of this together because we've spoke about 3 players, and all of them have been recruitment under INEOS. Now,
boy.
you don't have to agree if you don't want to. I don't mind. Just I'm looking for your opinion. But is there so? And I know we've been critical about INEOS and the powers that be there for specific reasons, and rightly so. They haven't got everything right and they've made mistakes. But is there some kind of maybe recruitment, like the recruitment validation last night, where you're looking at the 3 goal scorers, our 3 signings under INEOS? And again, look, I've made the argument that I think the recruitment has been very good, and I do trust their recruitment in the coming windows. What kind of way do you look at that angle? And you're smirking a little bit there. You don't clearly trust the. I mean, like when you look at the forward line that we've got, and maybe the bit of depth in the squad now, surely there's an argument at least there for it.
No, I'm not gonna totally disparage INEOS and their signings because I like their signings. I said this, at the beginning of the summer. I didn't have a problem with the players that we were signing. I liked Cunha. I like Mbumo. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody saw this out of Paddy Dorgu. I mean, let's be honest. He signed as a left back and everything like that. Now, but he's been a great signing. don't go down there. You didn't see him playing left wing. You did not see him playing left wing. No, get out. Oshie, you're gonna help me out on this. You didn't see him playing left wing. Right? Not like that. Left back maybe, but not left wing on the left side. But no, I mean, Aiden Heaven too. I mean, you throw him in there too. I mean, they've all been really good signings, and I have no problem with that. It's with INEOS, it's been a lot of the other things like we talked about. Oshin and I, we were beating a dead horse about it in the summertime. It's the amount of time it took, so there's little caveats about INEOS' signings and everything like that. Like, to be honest with you, I never believed that we were even in for Baleba because I think that was a BS. I think it was a PR thing to say, oh, we tried to get a midfielder and we threw a $60 million bid at them, knowing that they weren't going to take it by any means at that point because it never progressed further than that. So, but I like everybody that we've signed. I have no ill feelings about anybody that we've signed, to be honest with you. Now, going forward, there he is. But going forward, I will trust the recruitment, but I will be critical of how long it takes because, and I know this summer is going to be a little bit different because we have the World Cup. Well, what was that? Jack got minimized. But I mean, this summer is going to be a little bit harder because we all have to take it into fact. There's the World Cup's going to be happening and players that are playing in the World Cup are going to be available for medicals and everything like that. So it's going to be a little bit different. So, but with that being said, like, I don't have any problem with giving them credit for the signings that they made in the summer because they've been absolutely brilliant, because those signings have put us where we're at. If you look at it, like even when Ruben was here, the increase in XG, the increase in the chances, the scoring chances and all that are all due to the signings that we have. We have a forward line that people will fear now. With Ahmad and Dorgu and Cunha and even Sesko and everything like that, because we all forget Sesko scored 3 goals in 2 games and then saw the bench. I'm going to put Sesko in there because I really like what I see out of Sesko. We all have to understand he's 21 years old, and Paddy Dorgu's 21 years old. So like the best is yet to come with them. So I can't say anything bad. I mean, honestly, I like the players that we've signed. Now let's move it forward. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop at that point.
100%. Just want to give a shout out to John from Seven Lawns, new member. Thanks for joining, John. Appreciate the support, Kilkenny man. Desi, welcome.
Well, boys.
I want to get your thoughts now, and I've been looking forward to you coming on because you were a heavy advocate for Ruben Amorim to be kept. You know what I mean? And look, none of us wanted him to be sacked. We just wanted him to be successful. But I mean, I don't think in your wildest imagination you could have dreamt it would have gone this well for Michael Carrick. Give me your thoughts on what's happened in the last maybe 10 days or so and 2 amazing results to start with Carrick.
Yeah, in dreamland, to be honest with you. Unbelievable, Jack. Like the transformation of the team. I don't think did any Man United fan think that was coming. Like genuinely, we might have been optimistic, but did we think we could see those type of performances like out of a Manchester United squad that's really failed with the same kind of group of players, bar one or two of them that we brought in? It's been a breath of fresh air, Jack, and I'll take it all day. Listen, pie in the face to me. Sometimes we have to get it wrong, and I got it badly wrong, and I'll hold my hands up. But whatever he has done, whatever he is saying, whatever the staff that he's brought in is what they're doing, whatever they're doing, just keep doing it. And the more satisfying thing for me is that, yes, he's only interim till the summer, so they say, but if he can prove his way till the summer, and we could add to that, what can that team do?
Yeah. Well, give me your. Let me ask you that then, because I wanted to kind of wrap this kind of section up with the Carrick debate. I'm kind of obviously we I think we're all in agreement that we've got to wait. All right, Oisín is shaking his head. So I'll go to you on this, Oisín. Right. I'm ready to get fucking burned again. I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm ready to feel the pain, man. You know what I mean? But look, if he continues to impress the way he's done in the last two games, Oisín, surely there's a chance that he's at least in the consideration for the job. I mean, and again, I mentioned it today. A lot of people are obviously going to compare it to the whole Solskjaer thing. And to me, it's different. I think Solskjaer was all vibes. I think Solskjaer was vibes, and Carrick seems more tactical. It seems more thought out. Off you go.
I don't think we've only had two games. I mean, looking back, we had 2 and a bit seasons of Solskjaer, so now we can look back and say it was just vibes. There wasn't really any great Ollie ball. You know what I mean? It was just all arm around the shoulder. Carrick's had 2 games. Let's rein it back in a bit. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. No,
let's not. Let's get excited and let's get happy. And let's take our
there's a long way to go. But I think, and I said this again in the group chat last night, if the board do go for Carrick, it's low-hanging fruit as far as they're concerned. He's in there already. There'll be no real... They wouldn't have to have interviews. They wouldn't have to go talk to the clubs with compensation. They wouldn't have to go chasing up agents or whatever. It's very easy for them to do it. And I think that the board would do that if there's good vibes amongst the fan base. But we have been there before, very recently with Ollie. And Ollie set us back a couple of years as well. I love Ollie, club legend, will always be, but he should never have gotten the job full-time. And I think we could be saying the same thing about Carrick in a couple of years' time if he takes it full-time now. I just have that fear. And look, if he gets the job, I will back him 100%, and I will hope he does well. But I think what this team needs now, if you want to go to that next level, is a winner who comes in and has the mentality and shows them what it takes to win and push them that next level. Carrick could be the man after the next man.
Can I cut across that?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say about that is we've had that type of personnel. The only thing
we have, but the squad we had at the time were nowhere like the squad we have now. The squad at that time, you had Pogba, you had Lingard, you had Rashford. They were never going to go to that next level. They were happy with where they were. This squad seems to want to push on and wants to get better. And I think if we had a manager like, just throw out Enrique or Pochettino or someone along those lines who came in, did 3 years, got us to a level, then Carrick could come in and be the next continuation of that, or someone like Carrick. But I would just I'd be worried for Carrick as well. He could ruin his career by coming in this early.
No, come here. I'm not saying I'm not saying right that it should be Carrick, but you have to be open minded in these situations.
Why not? If he comes in, I will back him. I'm not saying don't give him the job. But I'm just saying, just look elsewhere. Don't just take him because there's all these good vibes in the fan base right now. Because that can all change.
Not just because of the good vibes. Look, the biggest thing that, right, and these players, and also I do think you said a very valid point that we can't get carried away. Yes, it's Arsenal. Yes, it's Man City. It's a massive statement It's a massive statement from him. It's a massive statement for him and his staff to say that, despite the fact of the situation we were in, that they could get this reaction out of these players and get it so suddenly. Now, to me, that's a massive, massive positive, because there's still a lot of these players that have been here and we haven't been able to get the proper reaction out of them. Look, when we looked at them yesterday and we looked at them against City, we look so much more organised defensively. We look so much more dangerous in attack. And it's everything that we've been screaming for since the very beginning. Even when Anderson was here, you know, we wanted to see this complete all-round type of style. And it's there now. So to me, if he does well now up until the summer, and he's getting this connection with the players and he's getting these performances out of the players, I think it would actually be the complete opposite. It'd be ludicrous to think we need to move him and now bring in somebody just because of the fact that he's won X, Y, and Z, when the real man that was getting the reaction from these players and getting the performances out of them was him.
I think it's Desi. I think you're right.
I take your point, but I go to once bitten, twice shy, and we've been there.
But here's the difference.
Yeah, but as you pointed out, Oisin, as you pointed out, that was a different squad.
100%. But what I'm saying is, if he goes in there, I will want the best for him. I will want him to win as many leagues as he can, and I will back him. I'm not.
100%. But go back to what you said.
I'm just saying it may not be the best thing.
No, but go back to what you said then. So if that's the case, if it was because of a different squad and we've been here before and you just said that this squad are hungrier and they want it, why wouldn't Carrick be the right man then? Are they all of a sudden going to come to the summer and go, oh, hold on a minute, we're not doing it anymore? Because
Chris.
But you guys got to also realize that you guys also got to realize that when Ole lost the squad, like, and everything, the players didn't want to play for him anymore. When Ruben left, Ruben didn't lose the squad. The squad wanted Ruben to be there. You know what I mean? Like, the players liked Ruben.
The players never stopped playing for Amram.
Exactly. So there's a different mentality in the squad when Michael Carrick came in. And I think you have to look at the fact that Michael Carrick, and I've been listening to some other pundits and stuff like that, and I didn't know much about him because I didn't, Steve Holland, everybody's praising that the appointment of Steve Holland because of what he does tactically, but what he does tactically, game in and game out, it's never the same thing. And you see it. You see what he does. And I have to, I'm not at Carrington, so I don't know what his, what the philosophy is going on there. But everybody says he looks at teams and he knows how to break down each team, and he will put a strategy in to break them down. It's not, hey, and this is, I was an Amram fan. And it's not, we're not going to play the same way every time. We're going to go out there and this guy sucks over there. So we're going to go after him. We're going to go after this point in the team. And I think that, like with Oshin, I agree with both of them when you say, you can't just hand Michael Carrick the job. But at the same time, I agree with Desi that if he's getting the best out of this squad and we can add to it, he has to be within consideration. I'm not saying you just hand it to him. But you have to have the consideration to put him in there, because you know what? It's not just him; it's the staff that he's put forward as well. And and the staff is getting the best out of the squad at that point. And you run the risk of, if you bring in, let's just put a name out there, Tuchel, Ancelotti, whoever you want to bring in, or Nagelsmann, whoever you're as you say, proven winners. They could ruin the squad as fast as they could get the best out of the squad, because all of a sudden the squad's like, man, we were playing so well under Carrick. We loved it. We had everything going. And now you're going to give us this guy that says, I can't do what I was doing before. Like,
you're trying to go out and get the one. And I think the big fear is throwing away potentially having it already in the building. If it is Carrick, you know what I mean?
No, and I'm not saying
reports were suggesting that United are looking for two of the three of Baleba, Wharton, and Elliot Anderson. Now, if we get two of the three of them, are you telling me Carrick can't do a job with them and that forward line that we've got? I'd be very surprised.
No, my opinion on it is Carrick's in there with no pressure at the minute.
Exactly.
He's only 2 games in.
When he got the
proper deal. He's going in, no pressure. He knows he's got the job till the end of the season. When he gets the contract, he's a main man. Is it different? Like I say, it's going to be interesting. I won't mind if he stops. If we carry on the way that we are now, then give him the job. Yeah. Or 2
like
games
I
in,
said,
we just need to let it go.
But to go along with what Ben says is like what we talked about earlier, and Desi wasn't there. Is like nobody expected us to get 6 points out of 2 games. Nobody did.
No.
So at this point, now the expectation starts to come in. We have Fulham, we have West Ham, we have Villa or Fulham, West Ham. Who else do we have? Crystal Palace is in there. And we have another one. 5 games that are all below us in
Spurs
in the table. I mean, Spurs. So the highest ranked team in the Prem, right, that we play is Fulham. They're 7th. You know, they're playing pretty well and everything like that. Now the expectation comes along where now you got to keep the level. If he can keep the level, I would consider him for the job. I mean, don't get me wrong. Stupid stuff's going to happen, and we may drop points here and there and everything like that. But if the level of play is there, but if the level of play is there and you can see it out of the guys and you can see it out of the squad, you have to give him serious consideration for it because he's getting the best out of the squad.
Hand him the job.
No. And I agree with that. You don't just hand him the job, but like and Jack, you remember this when we talked about this at the beginning when they were going to appoint him and stuff like that. And I said this is like, if he qualifies us for Champions League, not in the 5th spot, but gets his 3rd or 4th, and we're in the Champions League and we're in it like with a bang, how do you justify taking him out? You can't. Like there will be a revolt in that. The fans will have a protest that we should have kept him.
Lads, 10 days ago, you can go back to on my Instagram or Twitter. I said specifically, Michael Carrick will not be the manager of Manchester United next season. And now I'm going, give it to him. Fuck it. I'm ready to be hurt again.
You know what's been brilliant though, right? I watched the game yesterday with my grandfather, and look, a mad Man United supporter. And we were saying yesterday, like, even the call to bench Cunha. And I said, Grandad, you know what? It's an absolute masterclass what he's done there, because that could have went 2 ways. Like, he brings him on. We have nobody to impact the game, Jack, and he holds off on him and introduces them into the game when the team needs a bit of injection. And the 2 times he come on, like, he to me has showed how much he's come here to this club, because he's a big player. We've obviously sold him the fucking script that he's going to come in and he's going to be this, and he gets benched. But when he comes on, he's so good, man. He's so hungry. He's a fighter for the team. The 2 games he's come on in, Carrick timed it to perfection. Right, 1-0. On you go, son. Give it your best shot. Assist against Man City, and he scores an absolutely brilliant goal. And it was a brilliant goal yesterday, Jack. And, but another thing I'll have to say is, Arsenal's 2 goals yesterday were sloppy, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the City game and you look at the Arsenal game, we're not just talking about the likes of fucking, mid-table teams here. We're talking about the 2 best teams currently in the league as we speak. They never really threaten us, Jack. Never. You can't, as much as we won the games, they never, ever. Like, City didn't threaten us once. Now, Arsenal had a chance yesterday. I can't remember who headed it, and Lemons tipped it over the bar. And even when they went, listen, Jack, even when they went 1-0 up, I was sitting there at my granite and I said, we're going to still come into this game.
Yeah.
I still feel like there's going to be we're going to get a chance against these. But just in that point, Jack, when you look at this Michael Carrick situation, you look at the staff that's coming in, they've done their homework. They've said, like, we need to bring somebody on who's going to inject the game. And to bench him, he should be starting. Would you not all agree?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But no, I don't.
If we lose against City and he brings him on at the end and nothing happens, you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
so
it's a big call.
But even yesterday, Chris, the changes that we've been seeing with Anam and that, like, he brings on a striker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When
he's bringing on defenders. He's going, come on, lads, and he's showing to the team, fucking have a go here. I'm bringing on 8 injection into you. Let's have a go. We're still in the game, and it's just those simple little details that change the mentality of the players on the pitch. Like, they're looking across Fuck, he's bringing on Sesko. You know, he's not bringing on fucking Aiden Heaven for Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and look,
Yep.
I think more than anything else, obviously the sample size is not big enough at the moment for, you know, any way, shape or form to argue for or against Carrick. Well, obviously for, because he's got 6 points from 6, but, you know, there's going to be times and over the next few games, opposition managers will figure out maybe a style of play and what he likes to do, and he tucks in the wide players out of possession, and, you know, there will be a counter argument to what he does, and it's then that we will see how they react to it. How does Steve Holland react to it, along with Michael Carrick, you know, Woodgate or whatever his name is, Jonathan Woodgate.
Yep.
So I think we will know I think we will have a bigger sample size, obviously, at the end of the season. And I think we will know. We will all just know. We'll feel it after the next 15 games, if it's right or if it's not right, I think.
I mean, that's why I said the next 5 games are going to be paramount, because, you know, the Fulham game at home, Carrick's going to not let, you would expect Carrick's not going to not let these guys like look past them. Like, no, this is the next team up.
And we're going to set it at the moment as well. They're no mugs either.
No, they're not a slouch, but at the same time, it's like, it's easy. Like we always talk about, it's easy to get up for the Arsenal game. It's easy to get up for the City game. We've always said that we always play good against the better teams, you know, and I'm not saying that Fulham's not a good team, but, you know, like earlier in the year, we lost to Fulham, right? Or we tied. We tied Fulham at
they come to our backyard and played football. It's about time we get a bit of a fucking homeland.
Yeah.
In my opinion, sorry.
No, and that's the thing, and that's what I'm looking at is like now, and that's why I say in the next 5 games when you have these teams, and it's what Ferguson used to always say, you have to beat the lesser table teams in order to climb the table. You know, and everything like that. So now we're playing the lesser table teams going forward. So now let's see how he gets, what kind of reaction he gets out of these players when you're playing a lesser team instead of playing one of the top teams where it's easy to get up for them. You know, and I think that's the next 5 games going to be paramount. I mean, at this point, like Jack said, I'm hoping to get, you know, 15 points out of the next 5 games. You know, because if you look at the schedule, the kid's going to get his hair cut here soon. You know, I mean, because, you know, I mean, you just look at it and you're just kind of like, we should be able to beat West Ham. We should be able to beat Spurs. Is terrible right now. They're awful. You know, we should be, you know, Fulham, great, a good team, 7th, you know, but we're playing Crystal Palace, shambles right now. They have no leadership. I watched the game against, I mean, they're terrible right now. Wharton, you know, and they're going to be even on a downslide because they play Forest next game and they're without Wharton, which is another one of their leaders that, I mean, you don't know. I think Palace may get relegated if they keep going.
Forest have put in a bid to try and sign Mateta.
You know what, Chris? The last team the Palace bet was No, seriously. The last team that Crystal Palace bet was Shelbourne here in Ireland. They haven't won a match. They've been very.
Can you imagine what Glasner would do if they sold Mateta to Forest right before you play them? Like I would just not even show up to the game. Like you don't even want. Like I'm just not going to show up. The assistants just take over because this is terrible.
Let's talk transfers for a few minutes, right? Oisin, I'll go to you on this because obviously the main one. It's been quiet. It's been very quiet, and I think we were all kind of. I don't think any of us have been surprised that it's been quiet, given I suppose the money we spent in the summer. And look, we spoke about this already, and you're right in what you said. I think Chris said it, that we should be looking to improve in every window. But obviously the main name in the last couple of days has been Cole Palmer. Now it's a little bit far-fetched, I think, at the moment, but you know he's got a deal until 2033 at Chelsea, so you know there's going to be a lot of money involved if he was ever to leave. But I mean, realistically, if we're talking about an angle here of Bruno Fernandes potentially leaving in a season or two, I don't think there's probably a better replacement, really, for a number 10 than Cole Palmer, given his allegiances to Manchester United as well.
Not currently playing in the league, no, I don't think so. But I mean, it's never happening in January, you know. No. I know Chris got all excited the last day in the group messages saying he's putting in the transfer request. I think Chris was going to get Palmer put on the back of his jerseys there behind him. He was so sure he was coming, you know. But I just
ordered a Cunha one. So
He's not going to be cheap. I mean,
No.
he was one of the first to sign one of these 10-year contracts at Chelsea, so he's not going to be cheap. If we're going after one of the three that you mentioned, Wharton, Elliott, or Baleba, they're going to cost for 200 million to get signed, two of those.
Yeah, probably.
You would think. INEOS haven't shown that they're going to spend that kind of money in one window. So I think if Palmer's, and I would like to see him at United, I think he could add something to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not a direct like-for-like replacement for Bruno, but I can't see Bruno moving on in the summer or at the very latest, maybe next January. I can see him wanting to move on. He's 31. He's given us the best years footballing wise of his life. And look, I couldn't begrudge him wanting to go somewhere to make some money or to try and win something. Not saying we're not going to win something, but he might have a better chance winning something elsewhere because we're still in the middle of that rebuild. But I don't see it as a realistic option at the minute. I really don't. The amount of money that's involved, the way we signed our forward line last season, I can't see us adding to that. And if we're going to try and strengthen midfield and behind that next season, I don't think he's high in the priorities of INEOS. I'd love to see him there, but I don't see it as realistic.
Yeah. Chris, what's your opinion on it? I mean, obviously, I think it's fair to say that we shouldn't be going for Cole Palmer, even if he is available, before we rebuild the midfield, basically. And now there has been talk in the last couple of weeks about United quite quickly looking for a left winger, which Palmer, I suppose, could play in. But I think there's probably, there's probably more important areas to look to rebuild, even if he does come on the market quite soon.
But here's the thing. So, like we talked about this before, and Jack, I think you were the one to say it. When you have a player of that caliber, you can't not look at it at that point. You can't pass it up just because you say, "Oh, well, we need to do this." Like sometimes you got to take one and just say, this is the best. You're not going to get a chance to get that type of player again at that moment. So I'll look at it that way. And again, you got to remember, if he's putting in a transfer request, you may not have to pay the huge number because he doesn't want to be there. We've seen that happen. And then, you look at it and yes, we need to get 2 out of the 3 players. Like, I don't know if I'm so sold on 2 out of the 3 players. Elliot Anderson, I would pay some money for because I think he's class. Wharton, he's not growing on me at the moment. I mean, he looked pedestrian against Chelsea. He running back, chasing the guy back, and he got made a fool when they scored I think it was their second goal. And then Baleba, like, you're kidding if you're going to spend over $50 million on Baleba in the form that he is in now. Like, I understand he had a really good year last year, but Baleba is not the same player as he is right now.
But he had a very, very good AFCON as well.
He had a good AFCON. Okay, but international football is a lot different than the Prem. Ugarte had a very good Copa America, and look what happened. So I mean, let's be honest. Like, I rate Anderson. Yes, that's a player that I would like to get, and I would spend the money to get him because I think he's class, and I think he's shown it. Even in a Forest squad that's not doing well, he still adds stability to that squad. Wharton, I'm actually moving him down in my list, and Baleba, I really don't have on my list, to be honest with you. I don't know why he's still. Maybe, I mean, if you're going to spend 40 to 50 million to get him, okay, fine. But if you're going to get anywhere close to what they were asking, that's a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm out on that, and everything and so forth. But, I mean, but this is where, I have to trust in INEOS and say, okay, if you're telling me those are the only 3 players on their list, we're in trouble at this point because Anderson, we're not the only team that's going to be in for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's going to be other suitors, and the price is going to be high. So, can we get a diamond in the rough? Can we get a Paddy Dorgu that plays the midfield that we didn't see coming and everything like that? That's where I'll put my faith in INEOS there. And I just but we again, like you said, we have to rebuild the midfield. I mean, you still, I mean, but again, you got to look at it and say, who's the best fit to play with at this point, it'll be Kobe Mainu because he'll probably be the only midfielder we have left. Ugarte's going to be gone. Casemiro's going to be gone. Bruno will be playing. And let's just say we're keeping Bruno at the 10. Who you're going to pair with him? Who do you think's the best fit for him to get the best out of him as well?
I would think, this is just my personal opinion. I think if Bruno's playing in the 10 and you're getting two of those players, I think Baleba in the 6 and Elliot Anderson in the 8, I think will be unbelievable.
But then you're leaving Mainu out of the squad.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, you need depth in your squad as well. I mean,
everybody's been crying for the kid. Everybody wants to see the Desi's one of them. This guy right down over here.
Just because we're crying for Chris doesn't mean we can't improve. We can't stand, we can't just say, oh, he's what we have, so why do we keep him? If there's someone better, you go get who's better. You just said it yourself.
But you guys before you guys are telling me that there's going to be no one better than Kobe Mainu.
Yeah, but doesn't mean
there's no one better in the position that we have at the moment. But going forward, if we can get someone better than them, yeah, why not?
It doesn't mean he's not going to play.
Well, but Desi, you were one. I want to, and let me see if I can. I'll paraphrase a little bit because I can't say word for word because I don't have the accent. You want to see a run of games and see what you get out of them, right, Ben? Ben's smiling because he knows. And if you go out and you
on that starting 11, 100%.
But if you're going to go out and if you're going to spend $200 million, he's not going to play again.
How do you know that?
He's not going to play again. He's going to spend $200 million on 2.
How do you know that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we went out and bought Cunha for 60 million, and we're playing a guy you bought for 13.5 million ahead of him. You need the squad. We are so papered in on our squad. We are so papered in our squad that we have to add to the squad as well.
What age is Kobe Mainu, Chris?
Save one of them for Champions League. That's what it is.
Yes, Ben.
What did you say?
Save one of them for Champions League games.
That's the one, Ben, on the money.
I love the way I was the one that said, I love the way I put the name of the two players in and just sat back and let you just destroy me.
I love the way you back into the conversation.
But I'll be honest with you. The way that Kobe's been playing in the last 2 games, like, why would you? I mean, don't get me wrong, and I agree with Ocean. You need squad depth, and we've all been beating that dead horse. You know, we need squad depth and everything like that. But do we need to go out and get 2 of those players at that price? Because you're going to you have Mainu, and you have if you get Anderson and you play with Mainu, do you have to go out and spend another $80 million on a Wharton or a Baleba at that point? Instead of, why don't you get a player that's...
Well, we're losing Casemiro, definitely. Ugarte is going to go, so you got to replace the 2 anyway.
No, you have to replace him, but you don't have to spend the $80 million that you would have to spend on Wharton or Baleba at that point. You can go and get a cheaper option in midfield that isn't one of those names.
No. Right? You don't go and get a cheaper option if you're Man City and you've already got a stacked squad. If 3 of them are available and we can sign all 3 of them, we should sign all 3 of them. Simple as that. And if Kobe Mainu doesn't like it and he throws his ties out of the pram, then fair enough. But we've got 3 fucking deadly players that we've just signed. You know what I mean? But I don't think that would happen, to be honest with you. And in 12 months, 18 months' time, if Bruno Fernandes moves on, who's the ideal candidate to step forward into that number 10 role? Kobe Mainu. He's only 20 years of age.
Kobe Mainu, no. But Matthias Cunha would step in before Mainu would.
Would he?
Oh, yeah. That's where he played when he played with Wolves. He was brought in as a 10.
Paddy was going to play on the left-hand side forever now for Manchester United.
No, I didn't say Paddy Dorgan.
Ben and Ocean, put the shades on. Let them two
Yeah, that's
it. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on another fantastic. No, look. I think the arguments that we're having here are the disagreements about who starts over who. That's exactly the type of headache a manager wants to have. You know what I mean? That's exactly what the type of headache a manager wants to have. You know, if there's a scenario where we've got such a good midfield that you have to rotate Mainu and Anderson every game, I mean, brilliant. That means we are back. You know what I mean?
But I think the last point that you're going to talk about that you put on the list, Jack, was I think what happens with Kobe Mainu's contract is going to tell you a lot about what they're going to spend in the transfer window.
Yeah, well, that was one thing I was going to bring up next. Then, I mean, how important then, Chris, is it to make to get him tied down to a new deal? You know, because
I think it's important. I think it's important to tie him down to a new deal. But I mean, what did they say? He's on like 25,000 pounds a week or something.
Yeah,
25 grand a week. Like, does he need a raise? Yes, he needs a raise. Let's be honest there. But but if we go back to last summer, he's asking for 200,000 a week. No.
Yeah, no. I don't know the legitimacy of
that high. I don't know. No, I don't think it was that high.
I reckon. I think I mentioned it on one of the videos there last week on one of the news shows. I think I would say that again. There's no substance to this at all. But I'd say if he got 100 grand a week now on his new deal, and in 2 or 3 years' time he goes up to the 150 to 200 if he continues to improve. You know what I mean? I think that's realistic.
The question is, that's what I was saying. But the realism of what they signed him at, like, what if they sign him to a 150 deal going, right here and right now and then, or right here and now, then, what's that going to say about what they're going to do in a transfer window? Because they're pretty much putting all the eggs in his basket. And, I think you look at that and you have to kind of say, that I think that's going to be a telling move where they can sign him at, because INEOS has been very vocal about they're keeping the wage bill down.
Yeah,
well, we're taking 300 grand a week out of that wage bill with Casemiro going, so that's left over there.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
And
I understand that, and I get that, but they're not going to spend that 300 grand. They're not going to take that 300 grand and put it in another player.
If they give Manu 100 grand of that leaves 200 grand for another player. So it's not really, they're balancing the books there.
No, I understand that, but at the same time, that's what I'm saying. That
a young player, he's not going to come in and demand 150 grand. He's going to be on probably 70.
The players we're looking at are not going to come in looking for more than 200 grand.
Yeah,
the players that would the players that were being linked 200, with the exception of Palmer. I can't see the players being linked with coming in looking for big money.
You don't think Elliot Anderson's not going to come in looking for big money?
I don't think so. Well, what's he on at Forest? He couldn't be on more than 70 at Forest. Couldn't be on more than 50 at Forest.
He'll get that doubled if he comes to United.
I'd say.
I know. So he's gonna be a 150. He's gonna be a 150 player when he comes to United, because if he's on 70 at Forest, they're gonna double his salary at that point.
I said he couldn't be on more than. He could be on 45, 50.
Well, the big worry with Elliot Anderson is that City are also interested in him, and they'll throw silly money at him. So it will probably sneak up the other offers that are coming in from anyway.
And they won't care that they just signed Semenyo either. They will just go out and get him.
And they're probably going to absolutely fill their bag with players as much as they can before these 115 charges drop and they get a 4-year transfer ban or whatever the case may be.
He's on. I just looked it up. Elliot Anderson's on 40 grand a week.
Just triple his wages, and he will be the happiest man on the planet.
Yeah.
And come to United
100%.
and bring the 21 home. Simple as that. Right, okay, let's leave it there. I'm going to bed. I'm absolutely wrecked. Lads, I appreciate you coming on. As always, very, very enjoyable podcast. And look, when are we playing? Sunday this week, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sunday, yeah.
Happy day. Right, lovely. Another watch along on the way. So, plenty coming up between now and then anyway. And I'm sure I'll talk to you during the week. All right?
Right.
Catch you later. Got it.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for watching as well, guys. If you haven't already done so, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Fantastic stuff. And plenty of content coming up. I'll be back tomorrow with the midday news. So make sure you're tuning in for that every Monday to Friday, 12 o'clock on the button. We talk all things Manchester United. And plenty of content coming up between now and the game on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Sorry if I didn't get through all of the comments, but stick around. I'll get to them eventually on the next one. Appreciate you watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Good luck.